King Charles is encouraging Prince Andrew's daughter amid growing controversy. Inside the palace's quiet strategy. Welcome back to Crown Chronicles, the home of royal truths, real drama, and the kind of insider palace stories you won't hear anywhere else. If you're joining us for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because today's episode is one of those rare, behind-the-scenes royal revelations that will keep you hooked from the very first sentence to the last. Today, we're diving into a story that mixes controversy, compassion, royal politics, and the surprising role King Charles is quietly playing behind palace walls. According to a source close to the royal family, Charles has been encouraging one of Prince Andrew's daughters during a particularly tense and uncertain time, and the reasons behind his support reveal more about the future of the monarchy than you might expect. This is not just a story about family. It's a story about strategy, reputation, legacy, and the fine line every royal walks between duty and loyalty. The royal at the center of this moment is someone the public has always adored, Princess Beatrice or Princess Eugenie, both of Andrew's daughters who, despite the turmoil surrounding their father, have carved out their own identities and built lives grounded in compassion, creativity, and modern independence. Yet no matter how separate their lives appear, the shadow of their father's controversies inevitably follows them, and this is where King Charles has stepped in, offering a gesture that is as unexpected as it is deeply revealing. Sources close to the palace say the king has been quietly encouraging Andrew's daughter, offering emotional support, gentle guidance, and an open line of communication that she has relied on more than the public realizes. This support is not loud. It's not performative. It's not designed for cameras. It is, according to insiders, the kind of private reassurance that reminds her she still has a place within the family, even when public opinion threatens to push her to the margins. But why now? And why her? To understand this, we have to go back to the underlying tension that has shaped the royal family's internal dynamics for years. Prince Andrew's scandals, from legal battles to public backlash, have placed enormous pressure not only on him but on everyone connected to him. And while Andrew has retreated from public duties and royal engagements, his daughters have remained visible, warm, and engaged with the world in their own modern ways. They work. They raise children. They champion causes. They show up. They are, in many ways, everything the monarchy hopes to be as it enters a new era, and King Charles sees this. He sees their sincerity, their potential, and their ability to connect with the public in ways that feel fresh and genuine. But he also sees the danger, the risk that Beatrice and Eugenie could be dragged down by association with their father's troubles, particularly as public scrutiny intensifies. This is where his encouragement becomes more than mere kindness, it becomes strategy. Sources say Charles recognizes that the monarchy needs figures who embody stability, warmth, and relatability. And Andrew's daughter, intelligent, compassionate, and endlessly diplomatic, fits that vision perfectly. To lose her to public pressure or emotional strain would be a quiet but significant loss for the future of the royal institution, so Charles is doing something many didn't expect. He is stepping into the role of mentor. Insiders say he checks in with her regularly, offers guidance on navigating public expectations, and reassures her that she is valued independently of her father's controversies. It's a delicate balance, supporting her without appearing to defend Andrew, and it's a balance Charles is handling with surprising sensitivity. But here's where things get even more interesting. This private support may also signal a shift in how Charles views the future shape of the royal family. For years, the monarchy has been slimming down, focusing on core members, reducing costs, tightening roles. But with senior royals stepping back due to health challenges, workload strain, and shifting personal circumstances, the younger generation has begun to play a larger role than expected. And Andrew's daughter, despite not being a working royal, has stepped naturally into a space where her voice, presence, and influence feel increasingly important. Charles is smart enough to see this, and to act accordingly. His encouragement sends a message: she matters. She is included. She has value. And, importantly, she is not being punished for her father's mistakes. This moment also reveals the human side of the monarchy that the public rarely sees. Behind the pomp, behind the structure, behind the headlines, there is still a family navigating pain, disappointment, hope, and healing. The king's gesture serves as a reminder that compassion and leadership often go hand in hand, especially when the institution's future depends on its youngest members feeling supported. Not sidelined, of course, the public reaction to this revelation has been mixed. Some see Charles's encouragement as a necessary act of fairness and empathy. Others argue it risks being seen as too lenient, especially when the public remains divided over Andrew's place within the royal world, but even critics admit that Andrew's daughter, regardless of the scandal surrounding her father, has never put a foot wrong. She has remained gracious, hardworking, and respectful, quietly earning admiration even in difficult times, and that is exactly what Charles appears to be protecting. There is also a deeper emotional layer to this story. Charles understands, perhaps better than anyone, what it means to grow up in the shadow of public disapproval. He remembers the tumultuous years after his marriage to Diana broke down, the tabloid frenzy, the criticism, the pressure. He knows what it's like to be judged not for who you are, but for what your family represents, and so, in supporting Andrew's daughter, he may be offering the kind of empathy only someone who has lived through decades of public scrutiny can truly understand. As the monarchy faces a period of transition, filled with uncertainty and shifting public expectations, this quiet act of encouragement becomes more than a simple gesture. It becomes a symbol of the king's hopes for a future grounded in unity, fairness, and the strength of the next generation. And while this story is still developing, one thing is clear: the bond between King Charles and his niece is becoming one of the most compelling and meaningful relationships within the royal family today. Thank you for watching Crown Chronicles, where the truth behind the crown always comes to life. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share for more royal revelations, because the palace never stops. And neither do we.